Alright, let's talk iPhone 15. It feels like a while ago now, right? These phones dropped back in September 2023. The initial buzz was pretty significant, as it always is with Apple. People were eager to see the changes. Would it be a massive leap or just another small step? That was the big question on everyone's mind. The leaks and rumors had been swirling for months. So when Tim Cook finally took the stage, expectations were high. We were looking for key upgrades. The iPhone 15 series promised some notable shifts. USB-C was probably the headline act for many. Finally, Apple was ditching the Lightning port on its flagship phones. Then there was talk of new materials, camera improvements, and the dynamic island trickling down to the standard models. It wasn't just one phone, of course. Apple launched the iPhone 15, iPhone 15 Plus, iPhone 15 Pro, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Each targeted a slightly different user with a different set of features and, crucially, a different price point. Now here we are in mid-2025. The iPhone 16 series is already out. So, looking back, was the iPhone 15 series truly worth all that initial hype? Did it deliver on its promises? And more importantly, does it still hold up today as a viable option for someone looking to buy an iPhone? These are the questions we're going to dig into. We'll break down what these phones offered, from design to performance, and see where they stand in the current smartphone landscape. The launch event itself was classic Apple. Lots of polished videos and impressive demos. They highlighted the environmental aspects, the new chip in the Pro models, and the camera systems. The narrative was one of refinement and pushing boundaries where it mattered. But tech enthusiasts and everyday consumers alike were keen to get these devices in hand, to see if the real-world experience matched the carefully crafted presentation. Let's get into the specifics of what this generation brought to the table. So, let's start with the look and feel. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max models got a significant material upgrade. We're talking about a titanium finish. This wasn't just for show, it made these phones noticeably lighter than their stainless steel predecessors. That's a big deal for devices you hold all day. The edges also became more contoured, a subtle but welcome change. This made them more comfortable to grip, moving away from the sharper edges of the iPhone 12 through 14 era. It's a more refined, premium feel overall. The standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus also saw design tweaks. They stuck with an aluminum frame but featured a new matte glass back. This was a nice touch, giving them a more premium feel compared to the glossy backs of previous standard models. These models also adopted more curved edges, enhancing comfort. In terms of weight, the standard iPhone 15 came in at about 171 grams, making it a pretty lightweight device. The Plus model, being larger, was naturally heavier at 201 grams, but still manageable. Color options are always a big part of the iPhone story. For the Pro models, Apple went with more muted, sophisticated tones befitting the titanium, natural titanium, blue titanium, white titanium, and black titanium. These colors really complemented the new material. The standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, on the other hand, embraced a more playful palette. They were available in lovely pastel shades: a soft green, a sunny yellow, a delicate pink, a light blue, and a classic black. These looked great with the matte glass finish. Overall, the design language of the iPhone 15 series felt like a thoughtful evolution. The Pro models, with their titanium build, felt like true flagship devices, lighter and more comfortable. The standard models also received enough of an aesthetic refresh to feel new and appealing. Apple focused on subtle improvements that enhanced the user experience, like the contoured edges and the improved texture of the back glass on the standard models. These refinements made the phones feel more polished and user-friendly from the moment you picked them up. Now let's talk screens. The display is what you look at all day, so it's gotta be good. For the iPhone 15 Pro, Apple delivered a 6.1-inch OLED display. The Pro Max bumped that up to a larger 6.7-inch canvas. These are Super Retina XDR displays, so you're getting excellent sharpness, with a resolution of 2556 by 1179 pixels on the 6.1-inch Pro. Crucially, the Pro models featured ProMotion technology. This means an adaptive 120 Hz refresh rate, making scrolling, animations, and gaming feel incredibly smooth. They also kept the always-on display feature. The standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus also got OLED displays. The iPhone 15 sported a 6.1-inch screen, while the 15 Plus offered the larger 6.7-inch experience, similar to the Pro Max. These displays were bright, vibrant, and text looked crisp. However, a key differentiator remained: the refresh rate. Both the standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus were locked at a 60 Hz refresh rate. In 2023 and certainly by 2025, this feels a bit dated for phones in their price bracket, especially when competitors offer higher refresh rates as standard. A big visual change for the standard iPhone 15 models was the adoption of the Dynamic Island. This feature, previously exclusive to the iPhone 14 Pro models, replaced the old notch. The Dynamic Island is a pill-shaped cutout that cleverly integrates alerts, notifications, and live activities. It morphs and adapts to what you're doing, making it feel like a dynamic part of the software experience rather than just a static hardware cutout. This was a welcome upgrade, bringing a more modern look to the entire iPhone 15 lineup. So while all iPhone 15 models offered beautiful OLED panels, the promotion 120 Hz refresh rate on the Pro models was a significant advantage. It provided a much smoother and more responsive user experience. The standard model's 60 Hz displays, while good in terms of color and brightness, couldn't match that fluidity. The inclusion of the Dynamic Island across the board was a positive step, unifying the design language and user interface. However, that refresh rate difference remained a key point of distinction between the standard and Pro tiers. When you go Pro with Apple, you expect Pro performance. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max were powered by the brand new A17 Pro chip. This was Apple's latest and greatest mobile processor at the time, built on a more advanced manufacturing process. It promised significant gains in both CPU and GPU performance. This meant faster app loading, smoother multitasking, and importantly, console-level gaming capabilities. Apple really pushed the gaming angle with the A17 Pro, highlighting its ability to run demanding titles with impressive graphics. The camera system on the Pro models also saw some serious upgrades. Both the 15 Pro and Pro Max featured a 48-megapixel main-wide camera. This allowed for incredibly detailed shots and better low-light performance. Accompanying this was a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens. The telephoto lens is where things got interesting. The iPhone 15 Pro had a 12-megapixel 3x telephoto lens. However, the larger iPhone 15 Pro Max exclusively featured an improved 5x optical zoom, using a new tetraprism design. This offered greater reach for those who love to zoom in. Another notable camera feature for the Pro line was support for spatial video recording. This was clearly laying the groundwork for Apple's Vision Pro headset. Capturing video with depth information allowed for a more immersive playback experience on compatible devices. This was a forward-looking feature, perhaps not immediately useful for everyone at launch, but it signaled Apple's ambitions in the mixed reality space. The Pro models continued to offer advanced videography features, making them a top choice for content creators. Beyond the raw specs, the A17 Pro chip also enabled more sophisticated image processing. This translated to better HDR, improved portrait modes, and faster computational photography. The ability to shoot in ProRAW and ProRes video formats continued to be a staple for professionals. The combination of the powerful A17 Pro chip and the versatile high-resolution camera system made the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max formidable tools for both everyday users and creative professionals looking for top-tier mobile imaging and performance. Section 5, the standard lineup, iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, still got game? Now let's turn our attention to the standard iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus. These models didn't get the brand new A17 Pro chip. Instead, they were equipped with the A16 Bionic. This is the same chip that powered the previous year's iPhone 14 Pro models. So, while not cutting edge for late 2023, the A16 Bionic is still a very capable and powerful processor. It ensures smooth performance for everyday tasks, gaming, and demanding applications. For most users, the A16 provides more than enough horsepower. The camera system on the standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus received a significant upgrade. They inherited the 48-megapixel main camera sensor from the iPhone 14 Pro. This was a big jump from the 12-megapixel sensor on the standard iPhone 14. It allows for much higher resolution photos, capturing more detail, and offers a 2x telephoto quality crop from the main sensor. These models also featured a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera and a 12-megapixel front camera. While lacking the dedicated telephoto lens of the Pro models, the main camera's capabilities were substantially improved. Apple also introduced a new auto-portrait mode on these standard models. This feature allows the phone to automatically capture depth information when it detects a person or pet in the frame, even if you're not in portrait mode. You can then apply the portrait effect later in the Photos app. This is a neat software trick that adds flexibility. The color science was natural, low light performance was good, and video capabilities remained excellent, as expected from an iPhone. The gap between standard and Pro cameras narrowed, at least for the main sensor. So, the standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus offered a compelling package. They brought Pro-level features from the previous generation, like the A16 Bionic and the 48-megapixel main camera, to a more accessible price point. The dynamic island also made its way down, giving them a more modern feel. While they missed out on the 120Hz promotion display and the dedicated telephoto lens, they still delivered a solid premium iPhone experience. For many users, these upgrades were significant enough to make them attractive options. Section 6. Under the hood performance gaps and storage smarts. Diving deeper into performance, the A17 Pro in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max was undeniably a beast. It wasn't just about a slight speed bump, it enabled new experiences, particularly in high-end mobile gaming with ray tracing capabilities. For users pushing their phones to the absolute limit, or those who want the most future-proof device, the A17 Pro offered a clear advantage. It also played a crucial role in handling the advanced camera features and processing tasks like spatial video recording without breaking a sweat. The A16 Bionic in the standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, while a year older, is no slouch. It's still faster than many competing chips on the market. For everyday tasks like browsing, social media, streaming video, and playing most games, the A16 Bionic delivers a fluid and responsive experience. The performance gap between the A16 and A17 Pro might not be overtly noticeable in day-to-day use for the average person. However, the A17 Pro and the Pro models does offer more headroom for future software updates and more demanding applications down the line. Storage options were fairly standard across the lineup, with some key differences for the Pro models. The iPhone 15 Pro offered choices of 128GB, 256GB, 512GB, and a hefty 1TB option. The iPhone 15 Pro Max, interestingly, started at 256GB, dropping the 128GB base model, and went up to 1TB. The standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus came with 128GB, 256GB, or 512GB of storage. It's good to see 128GB as the base for the standard models, which is adequate for many, but power users, especially those shooting 48-megapixel ProRAW photos or 4K video, would lean towards higher capacities. One important consideration, especially looking from 2025, is RAM. The standard iPhone 15 models reportedly came with 6GB of RAM, while the Pro models likely had more, often rumored to be 8GB. This difference became more pertinent with the announcement of iOS 18 and its Apple Intelligence features. Many of these new AI capabilities require the A17 Pro chip and potentially more RAM, meaning they are exclusive to the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max, leaving the standard iPhone 15 models out of some of the latest software advancements. Section 7. Juice and Jacks, Battery Endurance and the USB-C shift. Battery life is always a critical factor. Apple claimed up to 20 hours of video playback for the standard iPhone 15. The iPhone 15 Plus, with its larger chassis, boasted up to 26 hours of video playback, generally offering excellent endurance that could comfortably last well into a second day for moderate users. The iPhone 15 Pro was rated for up to 23 hours of video playback. These are respectable numbers, though real-world usage always varies. Some early reports noted subpar battery life on the standard iPhone 15 for heavy users, but the Plus model was a consistent performer. The biggest news in the charging department was the long-awaited switch to USB-C. All iPhone 15 models ditched the Lightning port in favor of the universal standard. This was a huge win for convenience, allowing users to potentially use the same cable for their iPhone, iPad, and Mac. However, not all USB-C ports are created equal. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max featured USB-C with USB 3.0 data transfer speeds capable of up to 10 gigabits per second. This is significantly faster for transferring large files like ProRAW photos or ProRes videos. The standard iPhone 15 and 15 Plus, while also getting USB-C, were limited to USB 2.0 speeds, around 480 megabits per second. This is the same speed as the old Lightning port. So, while you get the convenience of the USB-C connector, data transfers aren't any faster on the standard models. For charging speeds, the standard iPhone 15 supported up to 18 watts, which is decent but not class-leading. The Pro models likely supported slightly faster charging. All models, of course, retained MagSafe wireless charging at up to 15 watts, providing another convenient way to top up. The USB-C port on the iPhone 15 series also brought another handy feature, a reverse charging capability. You could use your iPhone to charge other small devices like an Apple Watch or AirPods by connecting them with a USB-C cable. This is a neat trick for when you're in a pinch. So the move to USB-C was broadly positive, offering greater universality, though the speed benefits were reserved for the Pro models. Battery life was generally solid, especially on the Plus and Pro Max variants. Section 8, Extra Perks, Action Button, Satellite Calls, and more. Beyond the core specs, the iPhone 15 Pro models introduced a new hardware feature, the Action Button. This replaced the traditional mute switch found on previous iPhones. By default, it still controlled silent mode, but users could customize it to launch various functions. You could set it to open the camera, turn on the flashlight, start a voice memo, run a shortcut, or activate an accessibility feature. This added a new layer of quick access functionality, which power users particularly appreciated for its versatility. All models in the iPhone 15 series continued to support satellite connectivity for emergency SOS and crash detection. These safety features can be literal lifesavers, allowing users to contact emergency services even when they're outside of cellular and Wi-Fi coverage. Crash detection uses the phone's sensors to identify a severe car crash and can automatically call for help if the user is unresponsive. These features provide peace of mind and underscore Apple's focus on user safety, making them valuable inclusions across the entire range. Other notable features included continued support for MagSafe accessories, offering a wide ecosystem of cases, chargers, and wallets that snap onto the back of the phone. IP68 water and dust resistance was standard across all models, providing protection against accidental spills and submersion. The Pro models also featured Thread networking technology, which is relevant for smart home enthusiasts, as Thread is a low-power mesh networking protocol designed to improve connectivity and reliability for compatible smart home devices. These extra perks contribute significantly to the overall iPhone experience. The Action Button on the Pro models offered a tangible new way to interact with the device. The expansion of safety features like emergency SOS via satellite to all models democratized access to potentially life-saving technology. While perhaps not headline-grabbing for everyone, these thoughtful additions and refinements enhance the practicality and appeal of the iPhone 15 series, catering to a broad range of user needs and preferences, from convenience to critical safety. Section 9. The price tag, in 2025. Is the iPhone 15 still a smart buy? Alright, let's talk money. When the iPhone 15 series launched, the standard iPhone 15 started at $799. The iPhone 15 Plus began at $899. For the Pro line, the iPhone 15 Pro started at $999 for the 128GB model, while the iPhone 15 Pro Max, starting at 256 gigabytes, was priced from $1,199. These are premium prices, as expected from Apple. Now, in mid-2025, with the iPhone 16 series on the market, you can likely find these iPhone 15 models at slightly reduced prices, either new from retailers clearing stock or on the refurbished market. Reviewer perspectives at the time of launch, and even looking back, were somewhat mixed, especially concerning the standard iPhone 15. Some felt that its 60Hz display and the A16 chip, while capable, made its $799 starting price less justifiable, particularly with the knowledge that it wouldn't fully support iOS 18's Apple Intelligence features. This lack of future-proofing for key AI advancements was a significant concern for some, suggesting buyers might be better off waiting for the iPhone 16 or opting for an iPhone 15 Pro if they wanted the full suite of upcoming software features. However, other reviewers, even as late as mid-2024, recommended the standard iPhone 15 even to Pro users. They argued that the upgrades it received, like the Dynamic Island, the A16 Bionic chip, still very powerful, the universal USB-C port, and the significantly improved 48-megapixel main camera, brought it much closer to the Pro experience than previous standard models. For users upgrading from an iPhone 11, 12, or even 13, the iPhone 15 offered a substantial leap in features and performance, making it a compelling option, despite its limitations. So, who should consider an iPhone 15 model in 2025? If you have an iPhone 12 Pro or older, an iPhone 15 Pro or Pro Max would still feel like a significant upgrade, especially with its titanium design, a 17 Pro chip, and advanced camera system. If you're on a tighter budget and coming from an older iPhone, like an iPhone 11 or XR, the standard iPhone 15 or 15 Plus can still offer a great experience with their modern design and capable cameras, provided you're okay with missing out on the latest AI features and the 120Hz display. It really comes down to your priorities and how much future software support matters to you.